guys. This is Underground Outsiders, and today I'm with.
DUSTMYTE.
What's going on, bro?
Good, bro. Just chilling, dude. How you been?
I've been good. I've been good. So for there, for oh fuck, fuck, for those who don't know you, what do you do and where are you from?
I am from Denver, Colorado. Um, I make like scream rap, mosh pit type music. Um, yeah, we just really been fucking around in the Denver scene a lot,
Mhm.
and yeah, just trying to start a little fucking punk scene out here, pretty much.
How is like the scene in like Denver? Is it like big? Because I'm not really too familiar with a lot of artists from there.
Yeah, it's it's interesting because about like 2 years ago,
Hmm.
we that's when shit was really popping off, and like the scene was really just like, I don't know, popping. And
Mm.
I don't know how it compares to other cities. I've done a couple shows out of state, but mostly just Denver. Denver's pretty tight knit.
Hmm.
um but a lot of shit went down recently in the scene, and it kind of died down, and we stopped fucking with a lot of people from that. So yeah,
Mm.
it's been strange.
Mm. So who would you say is like some of your favorite artists from Denver that's in like your particular scene aside from yourself?
hmm that's a good question. My buddy Celeste K for sure.
Hmm.
um 1K Coop, BNB Donnie. Shit, who else is out here that's fire, bro? I know I'm blanking on hell. Oh, Alert, of course. I believe Leech Tycoon is from out here, but I don't know if he claims Denver. But
Mm.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think that we definitely. I wish we had some other artists doing the
Mm.
same thing too, because I mean we have maybe like 3-4 artists doing the same type of deal that we're doing, but I think Denver could definitely be way bigger in the scene.
Mm. Is there like any bigger artists from Denver? Like aside from just underground artists?
So there's like Kill Dill.
Yeah, I know him, of
He's
course.
from yeah, he's
Yeah.
from Denver apparently. Um, yeah, dude. There's really no one to look up to out here, which is kind of crazy. Like New York obviously has like so much fucking. New York and LA have a ton of fucking just like huge artists that you can just like see in the scene and look up to, but Denver doesn't really have shit like that
Mm. So
because
would
there's
you
a
say?
there's a huge like EDM scene out here that people
Mm.
gravitate towards more.
So would you say like it's kind of harder for you because you're not from like a bigger city like New York or like Atlanta or something?
Yeah, that's hard to say. I mean, so I'm about to move to New York, and I'm kind of questioning like if what that's gonna do, if I'm gonna move there, see the scene, and kind of just, I don't know, like want to go harder because people
Mm.
are doing crazy shit, or if it's gonna discourage me. I don't know. I think it's gonna make me go harder. I hope so.
Mm. Well, what makes you? Why do you feel like it could like discourage you?
I don't know. Like I get overwhelmed when there's just like when I realize that what I'm doing is like there's too much shit going on. The scene is too saturated. There's way too many motherfuckers trying to make music right now.
No, that's true,
And
especially up here in New York.
oh yeah, oh yeah, I bet, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's shit like that. It's like I don't know. So
Mm.
it could either go one way. It could make me fucking. It could really fucking spark me to do some crazy shit, or it could just make me want to go a different direction.
Mm. All right. So what's like the meaning behind your name? Because I always found your name kind of interesting. How did you come up with that?
So I literally, um, I think so my name before, I was just a producer before I was That's my producer tag was a Campbell track. And I was like, that shit is just pretty fucking terrible as a name. So I got to change that shit. And I think I wrote down like a list of like 5 names. And also I was starting like this whole Dust My thing as kind of like a joke.
Hmm.
Not like a joke, but like I wasn't like thinking anyone was going to take it seriously. So a lot of the names were just like joke names. Like one of the names was like Horse Girl 1738.
Yo, what the
One was
fuck?
one was like Jim Carrey, like all spelled all weird. Um, it was just like I don't know. And then DUSTMYTE was like the only like kind of like serious one. And my friend was like, "Yeah, you should just be DUSTMYTE." I was like, "Oh, okay." But
Mm. So how
so
did
he
you
kind
kind?
of chose it for me.
All right. So how did you kind of like get into making music? Was it
I
something
was
like
always
you was
like,
always liked?
yeah. I've always, I mean, I was playing like in bands in like middle school and shit, like playing guitar. I've always been super interested in music, and I listen to like pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then I think I started making beats freshman year for my homie Celeste K
Mm-hmm.
and a couple other artists in Fort Collins, which is where I grew up. I grew up in Fort Collins, Colorado. Um, and then I think it was about 2020 when I was just like, I'm gonna try the whole vocal thing, and I knew that I wasn't gonna make like normal type rap music. I was just gonna like scream my head off basically, and then I don't know. The first song I dropped, I think, was "Hold Off" or um, "Kick the Bucket," and "Hold Off" did some fucking numbers, and I was like, oh. I
Mm-hmm.
started to realize like I could probably take off with this, or at least try to.
What was your initial thoughts when you first started like kind of like gaining some traction?
I was scared, bro.
So
I was
why?
scared, cause dude, I'm I'm an introvert, low key, and the
No, I
reason
feel
I
that,
just
bro.
wanted to be a producer is because then I didn't have to be in like the spotlight, and I could
Hmm.
just like make music like behind somebody basically.
Hmm.
And I really liked that idea. But then I also like doing the vocal stuff, and when I put it out there, and like I don't know, I think one of the days like it spiked like to like 1,000 plays. You know, it was insane at the time.
Mm.
And I got really scared, and I was like, "Oh fuck, am I gonna have to start doing shows? Am I gonna have to fucking like do all this shit now?" Because I was genuinely like, I don't want to do that. I just wanted to, I don't know, fuck around with it. But then started doing the shows and shit, and realized like, no, that's the shows is where it's at. Like that's
Yes,
where you can
especially
really
for the
express
music you
yourself.
make, that's like the best like atmosphere. It's
Yeah,
better
exactly.
to experience it at a show.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Yeah. So like speaking of shows, like how was your first show? Like how did that
You
go?
know, it was pretty uneventful, but I was really hyped that I overcame like my stage fright a little bit, and um, so yeah, I mean, I remember just going crazy on stage, and no one knew who I was, but like, it still felt cool to just be up there and say that I did it. Um, but then later on, the shows actually started to get like pretty crazy, and that's when I realized like, no, this like the live shit is like the
It's where it's
epitome
at.
of my
Yeah.
expression right now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so what was like the first show you realized like, oh shit, like people are actually going crazy?
It was probably, I want to say that was probably one of the Seventh Circle shows.
Mm.
If you were in the scene like last year, I think like in October at least, I think it was, we did
Hmm.
like 3 Seventh Circle shows like back to back, and those were just like wild. That's
Mm.
when I mean Celeste was like doing crazy shit. He was like telling people to box. He was fucking lighting shit on fire. It was chaos, and I loved it.
For the cause I seen one of your music videos, I think it was for fuck. I gotta let me go on SoundCloud like real quick. Give me
Oh,
like
yeah,
one
but
second, bro.
I only have like 2 videos. One's the bus up one, and the
Yeah,
other
that
one's
one. That
Rust.
one.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was the
How
Seventh Circle show.
oh
Yep,
that
that's
was
exactly what I'm talking about.
like was there a fucking skateboard on fire? Like what the fuck?
No, my buddy Caden Love, shout out Caden Love. We had him do a caveman off the stage during
What the
one of the
fuck?
drops, and that was fucking insane. That's
God
one of my
damn.
favorite clips I've ever seen in my life.
That's crazy. All right. So, like, how, like, give me like 1 second. All right. How do you kind of like first get into the underground scene?
Um, well, the Denver scene, it was kind of like we had to make it almost. Like
Hmm.
there wasn't a scene before we started, or at least for the type of music we're trying to do. There wasn't really like an actual scene that people wanted to pull up to until we started that Seven Circle shit. And now, I mean, it's it's just been growing and growing, and of course, there's been a lot that's happened where we stopped fucking with a lot of people from the scene, and that definitely has dropped off the fucking numbers that pull up to the show. But hey, good riddance, you know.
Mm. So, like, what would you say is kind of like a highlight of your like journey as an artist so far?
Ugh, it's a really good question. I think probably, I think probably overcoming like all the stigma I had about like becoming an artist. Like I thought that I don't know, like I would just get on stage and like everyone would hate me. All the shit that you get as an artist sometimes when you put yourself out there and do. I mean, being an artist is a very embarrassing thing. You know,
Hmm.
you're putting your vulnerabilities out there, and you don't know how everyone's gonna take it. But um, that's kind of how it is. That's just what being an artist is about. And I think that I'm proud of myself for overcoming that part and just not giving a fuck anymore what anyone thinks.
Hmm.
Because I don't know, it used to hold me back.
Hmm. So, like, what kind of advice you would give to somebody who wants to become an artist?
Put out music that you genuinely love. Do not put anything out if you think it's for somebody else or what you think they're gonna like, because then you're just gonna sound like some type of clone. And the best way of creating your own sound is finding what's inside of you that you like. Because
Mm.
what you like is way different than what everybody else likes. And if you can channel that thing that you like into a certain way and then other people relate to it, that's a beautiful fucking thing.
Mm. Yeah, that's definitely true. So like, who is someone like your first inspirations like coming up, like when you was like growing up?
Ooh, well, for rap, I genuinely did not like a lot of rap music up until freshman year of high school. I was just listening to like punk and metal and like indie bands and shit, and I did not like the mainstream rap that was going around. And then I stumbled across the Suicide Boys Paris music video,
Mm.
and that changed my fucking life. Like I remember like watching that, just like so shitty, bro. Just like what is this? I thought I didn't like rap, and then I discovered the underground scene, and I realized no, this is the scene for me for sure.
Mm. So like,
Sorry, I'm
if
spitting like
nah,
crazy.
it's all good, bro. Like, like if you had the opportunity to work with like any artist, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive, it don't matter.
Ooh. Mm. Either okay, so either X,
Hmm.
Kurt Cobain, or Zach De La Roca from Rage Against the Machine.
Mm. Why them? Why them specifically?
So, I mean, I've growing up like Nirvana and Rage Against the Machine are just like even you could probably hear it in my songs how influenced I am by them. I'm just like I grew up obsessed of those two bands,
Hmm.
and then X kind of brought that same energy except in the rap genre, and I just really just fucking loved X for that. I think X is probably the pillar and pioneer of the shit that I do,
Hmm.
and Kurt Cobain and Zach definitely are too. It's just a different genre.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think those three guys are definitely some solid fucking guys.
So like, how did you get into like producing? Like, what made you want to do that?
Everything started as a joke, bro. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I made a beat for Celeste AK one day. It was my first beat ever. And I told him, I was like, yo, you should rap on this beat, but don't be saying some serious shit because I don't want to be taken seriously with this. And he was like, okay. And he wrote the fucking most hilarious fucking song ever, and we were releasing it like that. And then I think after a couple songs, Celeste was just getting tired of that. And he was like, nah, I want to like actually talk about some real shit. And I was very against it at that time.
Mm.
For whatever reason, I don't know. I just think I didn't want to pursue a career like that. And then people come up to me like, yo, you're a rapper or whatever. And we're like, no, it's just a joke. You know?
So like, what, like, speaking of like lyrics and stuff like that, like, what's like your favorite lyrics that from a song that you wrote?
Ooh. That's a very good question because I'm very conservative when it comes to my lyrics. I think there's one song that might be Bust Up that has the lyrics somewhere on some website, but I've never released my lyrics to anything before really. And I think I do that just so that like I don't if you hear me and you know what I'm saying, then you hear me and you know what I'm saying. But if not, then just like listen to the music. I've always kind of had that mindset. I'm not really super into like, I mean, I am. I really do be talking about some real shit in my songs, but also sometimes not at all, you know? So I don't know. I don't know what fucking. I can't even think of any of my lyrics right now, honestly.
All right, so if not lyrics, like one of your favorite songs, like in general.
My favorite songs.
You don't gotta be just one.
I like Serenity. Mm-hmm. I think that's a really cool song because I like mixed like, I don't know, some pop punk vocals with some punk like guitar riffs, and then it goes into like a trap drop. I don't know, it's very interesting. You know, I just like how it is sonically. I don't know.
So like, what is like your process when you make music? Like, do you need to like, you know how like some artists they have to like live life in order to like come up with shit? Like, are you like that, or do you just come up with shit like randomly?
Yeah, definitely. When I'm going through some tough times is like when I definitely have the most inspiration, and I definitely make the best shit in my opinion when I'm just hurting. So like if I'm going through a breakup or whatever, I'll just fucking crank out a bunch of songs, and it normally is just a better, I don't know, it's more passionate music as opposed to if I was just like, all right, I gotta sit down and fucking make this song now because I have to, you know. If I want to make the song, that's when the song is really fucking good.
So like, well, like outside of just music, like what are some of your interests outside of just like making music?
Yeah, I be skating a lot. Going to a lot of shows. I guess I get inspiration from, I don't know, I read a lot of like right now I'm reading fucking Rick Rubin's book, fucking legendary producer, and he's just kind of guiding me through like the creative process and how it all connects with just like your mind and just every aspect about yourself and how just like art is involved in life and all that, and it's just super inspiring when I read that book.
So like for like artists that's like kind of like struggling with like the creative process, like what advice would you give to them?
I would say that sometimes you have to make a song for what if you're getting paid for it or someone's just waiting on a feature for you, and you just have to get the song done. But I think that the best fucking music that you will ever make is when you're genuinely passionate about a project, and that when you are struggling to like lyrics or whatever it is, a melody, it will come to you. You just have to stay present with it and just figure out the confusion and kind of nonsense of what music is.
Mm, no, that's true. So like where do you see yourself in like the next year? Like, what are some of your goals when it
I
comes to
want to
music?
be, I want to be, I want to be able to fucking just like quit my day job within the next year or two and just solely fucking work on music. Because I feel like if I did that, I could really, I don't know, do something with this. Because if I'm just working a day job a lot of the time, it's hard for me to come back and be passionate about my music side of my life too. You know, if it was just all about music, I think it would be really beneficial.
So how do you like balance that? Like, how do you balance like worrying about like your real life versus like music? Like,
Well, it sucks because you gotta have money to make money. So I got a day job just so that I can be investing in the music and support myself and not be homeless and shit. But it's definitely hard, bro. It's a struggle, but got to do what you got to do. And I'm very confused with a lot of artists because I don't know if they're like being supported by their parents or whatever financially, or how
mhm,
the fuck they have time to keep going. Because I mean, shit gets messy, bro. And life, like real life, just happens. Even if you just you don't want it to, you just want to keep on making music and shit. But like I don't know, weird shit should be coming out of nowhere that you
mhm,
got to deal with over the music.
mhm. So like what are like some of your least favorite things about the underground scene?
Pedos. There's a lot of fucking pedos and weird fuckers. I don't know why it's the underground scene where most of these fuckers pop up, but there's just a lot of weird people, weird
Yeah.
shady people out here, man.
How do you like deal with like all that negativity and still like come back to music? Like, how do you deal with all that?
Well, in a lot of ways, I think negativity can feed the music too,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not to say that positivity can't either.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, you can definitely use that negativity as fuel in this shit, especially if I don't know, when you're fighting, when you're struggling, that shit is gonna show in the music. If you're comfortable and you're just chilling, you're gonna make some comfortable ass music, and no one wants to hear that because it's boring. You know?
Mm. So like to people like that, like people that's kind of like outside the scene, like they're obviously gonna hear your music and say like, "Yo, this guy is negative. This guy is this." They're gonna make a whole bunch of like assumptions that they don't really know. Like, how do you like what would you say to them to like kind of get them to like fuck with your music?
Well, I think that I mean, if you're in a negative mindset, sometimes listening to just like crazy aggressive music can help you through that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and yeah, you can say my music's negative because sometimes it is for sure, but it's kind of like a coping mechanism at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like outside of just like music, how do you cope? Because you spoke about skating, like.
Sometimes not the best ways, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, sometimes, sometimes a little bit of drugs. Sometimes just just trying to. I mean, I be trying to meditate a lot. I'm very spiritual, but I've found out that mushrooms have like gave me like I don't know a lot of clarity in life, and when I take them, I know what's real and what's not. And yeah, I
Mm.
mean, I don't always have the best coping mechanisms, but I'll be trying to get through shit.
So like so far in like your like journey, like what's like the most like dumbest comparison you've gone with another artist?
Well, the obvious one is fucking Zillakami. Everybody says I sound like Zillakami. And at first I was like, what the fuck? Like, how are y'all motherfuckers comparing me? I'm like, the beats sound nothing like Zillakami. I guess my voice, everyone says, like, there's certain songs, and I understand it now, that my voice definitely can sound like Zillakami for sure.
Mm.
But I think a lot of people assume that I'm like some like
Trying to like
crazy
copy or
diehard.
something?
Yeah, like I'm some
Yeah.
clone or something.
Hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I love Zillakami and Sid and Mark, but they aren't even like top 30 of my inspirations, you know? I think I
Mm.
just happen to have a voice that sounds like him sometimes in some of my deliveries.
Hmm.
But it was absolutely never my intention to sound like anybody else. It just, I guess it happened.
Mm. Like, what are your thoughts on like the underground scene, like outside of like just like the trap metal scene? Like, what are your thoughts? Like the more popular like underground artists.
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on them?
Um, I actually do be fucking with a lot of underground shit that's not scream rap.
Hmm.
Um, like some rage shit, kind of some like I don't know. I guess jerk or whatever. I don't even know the genres. There's so many fucking
Yeah, there's too many
subgenres
fucking genres, bro.
nowadays.
Like,
I
like
don't
I
know
can't
what's
keep
going
up,
on
bro.
anymore. I don't know. I
Bro.
just be liking who I like. I like this dude. He's so fucking low key. It's kind of fucking sad. His name's Keith Nash. It's fucking
Mm.
insane.
Mm. What type of music he makes?
He makes like kind of rage type music, but also not really at the same time. He kind of has his own spin on it, which I fuck with that because I don't really listen to a whole lot of that type of music. But when somebody brings something else to the table that nobody else has in the genre, I definitely listen to that shit. That's just dope.
Mm. So, like, like, what are some of your like favorite bands outside of like Nirvana?
Nowadays, I be listening to a whole lot of Gojira, Ministry, Deftones, Limp Bizkit, Slipknot, a lot
Hmm.
of like new metal, kind of, and also some thrash metal and shit. I don't know. I love all types of music. I like punk, metal, reggae, rap, indie. I like a lot of indie shit too. I don't know. I just, I just be I just be liking a lot.
Mm. So, like, would you say like those like kind of like influences kind of like influenced your music in any kind of way?
Absolutely, yeah.
Hmm.
Like even just I'm influenced by every genre in it. I think sometimes it does show in my music. This last song, Power Trip, I just dropped.
Hmm.
I paid homage to my favorite reggae artist, Barrington Levy.
Hmm.
I don't know. I said like some of his lyrics in that song, but you'll definitely hear. I mean, if you're well versed in just like all music in general,
Hmm.
you'll be picking up on some of the stuff that I'm saying.
Mm. Mm. So, like, would you say like growing up in like Denver and stuff like kind of like influenced the way your like music and aesthetic kind of like became?
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely, man.
How
I grew
so?
up in Fort Collins, Colorado, and I was like I don't know. My side of town was just like a little preppy and like kind of like hicky almost. So
Yeah.
like there's a lot of like redneck shit and just pop music that I just completely went the other direction. I think that it was me being involved in those type of people that I didn't relate to
Hmm.
is what also made me just want to go the complete opposite direction and just make wild shit that like my goal is to make music that all the people from my high school hate. You know,
Hmm.
I don't want anything to do with the type of shit that they're on, I think.
So like, how did you kind of like meet up with like Celeste K and the Rico Boys? How did you come up with that? If you was the
So
one that came up with that.
yeah, so basically, me and Celeste, we went to the same elementary school, and I've known that guy since like third grade, basically.
Mhm.
And we didn't start making music till like probably, I guess it was freshman year of high school, and we started making music. But we had a couple other members in the Rico squad. There was Andy Hayes, and there was Brock Barrett as well. But Andy Hayes actually ended up doing some crazy shit, and he's in prison for life now. So we're not fucking with. And it's he did a fucked up thing, man. He basically beat his girlfriend to death,
Oh
and
shit.
yeah. So after that, I mean, we deleted all our songs with him. That's why "Kick the Bucket" is not on my profile, and it hasn't been for a couple of years now. But yeah, a lot
Mm.
of crazy shit that happened in all of our lives, and I guess it's just continuing to be crazy. I mean, Rico is kind of dying out, and it's sad to see, but I
Mm.
think that we're on to better shit now. We're gonna start up a new I'm thinking about starting up a new collective here pretty soon.
Mm.
But I just need to find some good artists that I relate to and that I believe that we can make an empire together. Because I truly think that with the way that we be working, that we could definitely do some damage in the scene.
So like, who are like some of um like who are some like rage artists that you would want to work with, like scream rap type artists that you haven't worked with yet?
So let's see. I would fucking love to work with Kill Switch. I think
Hmm.
he's a fucking amazing artist. But I heard that he's kind of taking a different direction. He's not really making that type of music anymore.
Yeah.
But other than that, I would probably say I don't know. There's a lot of dudes. I fuck with Death Proof Heavy, Spider Gang Heavy. All those guys are fucking amazing.
Hmm. So like who are like some of your favorite producers? That's a good question. Yeah.
Mm. So let's see. Who's a good producer? I guess my favorite producer is probably Lex Luger.
Why
I
why
love
him?
his beats. I love, I don't know, I love that era of rap, that Waka Flocka, that kind of, I don't know, that southern rap type shit.
Hmm.
It was just so dope. And Lex Luger brought those crazy horns to the game
Hmm.
and just a certain sound that I just always loved so much. I've been replicating that into my music as well.
Mm.
Yeah, Lex Luger for sure. He's my favorite.
Anybody else besides like Lex Luger?
There's a ton of amazing producers. This is producer. His name's Fish. He produces for a lot of Big Baby Gucci,
Hmm.
and his sound is just so unique. I've never heard anything like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Um,
check him out. I'm not too sure who that is.
oh yeah, do you know Big Baby Gucci?
I think I heard of him. I think I've seen him, but I
He's
don't know if
dope.
I listened to his music before.
Yeah, he's cold as hell. You should
Mm.
definitely check him out. And Fish used. I don't know if he's still producing for him, but
Hmm.
a lot of his earlier stuff was just so unique because of Fish's beats.
Mm. How would you kind of like describe his beats?
Kind of like soulful. He uses a lot of soul samples in this shit.
Hmm.
Also, his basses are just like so buzzy and grimy. I don't know. It was just mind blowing for me to hear that for the first time. This shit.
Hmm. So like, what is like some of like your crazy experiences as an artist so far?
Oh, a lot of fucked up shit. I mean, as an artist, you'll lose a lot of money. You're gonna be disappointed like so fucking much. I remember Me and Celeste, we went out to Texas on two separate fucking occasions for shows that were supposed to happen. And then the day we landed in Texas, we were told the shows were canceled.
Oh shit.
So it's just shit like that, bro. It's like no one has their shit together in this scene, bro. And like, I don't know. It's just you'll find yourself like putting yourself out there so much, and you should do that.
Mm-hmm.
But what comes with that is disappointment too. You know, not everything's gonna work out the way you want it to. But sometimes they do, and putting yourself out there in that case is like really fucking worth it to do, even if you had to go through a lot of bullshit, you know.
So how the fuck did you deal with that Texas situation? Like you just went back fucking home, like, like what the fuck?
Yeah, literally. Okay, so the first time they said there's no show, and we were like, oh fuck, dude. So we spent all that money for nothing, and basically, I think me and Celeste that night we met up with bro who was running the shit, and it wasn't his fault. It was the venue. They just canceled on us because they didn't have their liquor license, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, we were just hanging out with bro, just mad fucking depressed over the whole situation. And he brought out a fucking perk and was like, yo, you guys want to snort this with me? And we were like, fuck it, I guess. We got nothing else to do. So we did. And then, of course, after, famous fucking words after you snort something, bro goes, oh yeah, there's a little fentanyl. So me and Celeste just kind of
Y'all gave each other that look like, what the fuck?
Yes, bro. We were just like, but we were on drugs, so we couldn't even react, bro. I couldn't even get off the damn couch. I was nodding off like you'd see like somebody like on the side of the street, bro. It was fucking scary.
Oh my god. All right, so like, what is like if you had one thing you could say to your fans, what would you say?
I fucking love you guys. You guys have changed my life, and I'm not even fucking like big, you know. Like it's a small knit group, but like they've literally like changed everything for me, and like I didn't expect it. I didn't even fucking try for it necessarily, but now I do. But yeah, life is crazy now. Thank you guys, man.
Yeah. So what would you say is like your craziest fan interaction?
I'm sure Celeste would have a lot better fan reactions because he's very involved with that type of shit, and I'm kind of just like mashed up in the corner, not talking to anybody. But I don't know. I guess like going to Atlanta and like motherfuckers knowing who I am is crazy. Like I went to Atlanta to do a show with Dirty Button, the Extreme Trap show, and I thought that no one would like. I don't know. I was just going out there like just trying to put people on the music and shit, and motherfuckers in the crowd like knew old ass songs, and I was like, what? It's just wild shit like that you just don't expect, and it's just like I don't know. It's really cool.
So would you say like that's like kind of like the first time you kind of like experienced that, like fans actually like, oh shit, they're fucking with my fucking music?
That wasn't the first time, but that was just really wild because it wasn't in my area. Like
in your area,
in the scene, I wouldn't be like surprised if someone came up to me and knew who I was. But like out of state, it's just like what? How do you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. So like, since it's like the end of the interview, is like, is there anybody that you want to shout out?
One second, let me light the cigarette. I want to shout out of course, Celeste AK. A lot of the dudes in the scene, 1K Coop. I want to shout out. I don't know. I
Fuck,
think
you can shout out anybody. Fuck it. It don't even matter.
shout out, shout out my mother for being cool. Shout out my dad. My brothers, they're all supporting this shit. Shout out everybody who's just like, I don't know, spreading the word about this shit. And yeah, anybody who's just really, I don't know, any supporters that are just going crazy, like, thank you so much, really.
One more question, because since you mentioned your mom and your dad, like, how did they kind of react when you first started making music?
Oh, they were very against it. They were just like, you're throwing your life away. Like, they wanted me to go to school, and I was not a school guy, but and as time went on and they realized, like, this is just what I'm going to do, and there's nothing they can do about it. And then also, just like, them seeing like some of the shows and realizing that it's something. It's not like nothing. You know, I'm not just in their basement like I used to be, just like not doing shit. Like, I'm making a little money off of it now, and they're starting to see that, and that's really cool. And I think they're really proud of that.
No, that's what's up. Like, to people, to like artists that's going through like the same thing you're going through, like, well, not what you're going through right now, but like what you went through before, like,
Yeah.
with like your parents not really understanding it at first, like, what advice would you give to them?
Your parents don't know shit. All right, they're old. They're out of the loop. They don't know what's going on, and they know what's best for you, but at the same time they don't, because they're not as tapped in as you are as a young person, you know. And my dad still kind of thinks it's impossible for me to do this. Whatever it might be, I don't know. You know, I could just be fucking working at Home Depot the rest of my life, you know? Like, that's not that out of the question, but it just comes down to, are you down to put your life over this? Is this really something that you want to do? And if you are, absolutely fucking go for it. Put your all into that shit. No matter who fucking tells you that it's not possible or whatever.
Nah, that's what's up.